All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha Kwadash. Double honors to the head apostle and others of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. This is the brother Mattathiah from the GMS Virginia camp coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus and Christ. Bahashem is in the name, and Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. And I want to touch on this video that the elder uploaded. The title of his channel is GMS Watchman. The title of his video is Listen to What This Man Says About the Micro C-Hip, which is the M.O.T.B. And I'm going to play this video and touch on a couple statements that this individual made concerning the micro C-Hip and its implementation, okay, which were really at the doorstep of high-level persuasion and the rollout of the micro C-Hip all over the planet Earth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video.
An issue that I call, hey, boss, don't microchip me. So there have been proposals that employers, this starts in other states, are asking, it always starts out voluntary, for employees to have a microchip under their skin, like in their hand, let's say, so that you just wave it in front of a reader and it's used for security or getting into a building or accessing certain areas. It's supposed to be really convenient. But of course, this idea horrifies a lot of people. So a bill has been introduced by Representative Breanne Thomas she represents Seattle and Vashon. She's a Democrat. Her bill is HB 2303, and it would, very simple, prohibit any employer from requesting, requiring, or coercing employees to have a microchip implanted under their skin.
Yeah, and they're going to shut that bill down real quick. All right, that bill is not going to gain no traction. And why is that? Because of the scriptures, the prophecies. All right. They're not going to ban micro C-himping on an employment level because it's going to be a global thing. And it's not just going to be something to get inside of your house and into your car. All right. It's not just going to be something that is optional to be a member of society. Soon, this is going to be a requirement. Okay. It's going to be a requirement to make a transaction, a purchase, to keep your job, to pay a light bill. All these things that you do on a daily basis, soon and very soon, you're going to have this type of technology inside of you to continue to do those things. Real quick, this is 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has put in our mouth, okay, prophecy which we are proclaiming through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai all over the four corners of the earth. And a major prophecy which has yet to come to pass is Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse on down. Verse 2, it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Whether you believe it or not, whether you receive it or not, whether you try to set up some bill that is against the implementation of micro C-hips on high volume, on a high level, okay? You know, whether you try to rally the people against it to make changes in the Senate, the Parliament, all right, and legislation and laws, etc., it's not going to happen. Okay.
This is an obvious idea, if you ask me. The problem with these proposals, and again, this has started in some other states, is it starts out voluntary. And then before you know it, the boss is saying, no, it's mandatory. The other part of coercion is they'll say something, the company, let's say, sometimes the government does this. Hey, we're not forcing you to do anything. we're just going to make your life really, really difficult until you comply. So these mandates, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector, are always suspicious when they start out supposedly.
And that's part of this man causing all right, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that device inside of them. First, it's going to start off as something that's not mandatory. But like this individual said, Esau is going to make your life a whole lot more harder because you are refusing to accept his technology before it is made mandatory. Let's run that back a little bit.
Hey, we're not forcing you to do anything.
The lag.
The other part of coercion is they'll say something, the company, let's say, sometimes the government does this. Hey, we're not forcing you to do anything. We're just going to make your life really, really difficult until you comply. So these mandates, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector, are always suspicious when they start out supposedly voluntary. Usually there's some kind of suggested coercion behind it. So Representative Thomas is getting ahead of this problem. We commend her for it. And this should be a very popular bipartisan idea. It is certainly something that Washington Policy Center would support. And we'll see how that bill does. It also brings up this apocalyptic future of science fiction that you hear about, where people are being turned into robots or, advance and be mechanized. The more digital technology we have, the better. It's the first step to a brave new world.
I know. Yeah, because that's all part of Esau Edom's New World Order end goals. All right. High level technology, robotics. All right. High level technology inside of your body via nanotechnology, via the micro C-hip, these Neuralinks, these BCIs. He seeks to have ultimate control, and he wants total compliance from the people. And he ultimately wants to do that through this technology. Okay. And yes, when the M.O.T.B is rolled out on that red carpet, so to speak, he's gonna persuade the masses, all right, via his witchcraft, via his high level employees, these niggas in Hollywood, these podcasters, these influential leaders, your local pastor, your local preacher, even some of your your local Hebrew Israelites. Okay, because you see these Hebrew Israelites amongst these other camps, they refuse to teach the truth concerning the Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse on down, right? They refuse to teach what the M.O.T.B is, okay, concerning being the micro C-hip. And they've consistently and constantly are changing their tune concerning this topic. But we'll see, all right? We'll see if these individuals repent and start teaching the true doctrine. Let's go to Revelation 13th chapter. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. Like this individual was saying, he can just, Esau, these wicked elites can just, make your life a whole lot harder for you not having it. Okay. Which will eventually lead to many getting that technology because they can't go into the store. They can't go to this particular area. They can't have this job. All right. They're not able to make ends meet. We saw we saw exhibition, how you say it, exhibition, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, concerning you know Esau's persuasion during the C9. You couldn't go into certain restaurants, you couldn't go into certain bars, you couldn't go into certain places, right? Without having that card. Your family, your friends, certain people that you used to hang out with before the so-called pandemic, they no longer wanted to be around you because of your outlook, your standpoint, your viewpoints, and ultimately because you haven't received uh, what the government was proposing for you to have inside of you, right? It says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? In your arm, your leg, somewhere on your body, whatever the case may be, or have it, wired to the mainframe of your brain. And you already see, in the news concerning these Neuralinks and the testimonials that are being pushed of these people that have received them. Okay, and then it's all quote unquote supposedly good, right? It says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Yeah, so that whole bill is going to get shut down very, very quickly. And if individuals keep bucking up, individuals in these high level positions that keep bucking up and going against this type of technology that Esau is, you know, gonna eventually push out through the whole earth. Hey, man, these individuals, you're not gonna hear about them no more. Hey, they're gonna be going through some things. Esau throw dirt on your name. They might get locked up, thrown in jail, or you just might not. Hey, Esau just make you disappear. All right, we told you once, we told you twice. You know, it seems you ain't listening, and you just don't hear about these people no more, or their plane crashes, their helicopter, you know, uh, disappeared over the Atlantic Ocean, right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this is going to be the new transaction. It's going to be the new currency, the new identity, the new ID, right? This is going to be uh, uh, the new way in Esau's new system. Okay, it says verse 18. Here is the wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and six. So that scanning, that convenience to get inside your car, to get inside your home, to be able to pay for things, transaction, and Esau is using gradualism upon the people. You see that with the cards, the credit cards, the debit cards, the various different scanning systems that we see in these stores, the automated systems we see in these stores now, these gas stations, etc. Where you just come in and you do everything from a kiosk, right?
I know that this all sounds kind of over the top, but we have seen that ideas start out small and then they tend to grow. It reminded me from a policy point of view of the original thinking of the Social Security number that was enacted first in the 1930s. It only applied to people who were in the workforce, number one. And number two, the government only assigned you a Social Security number when you got your first job. So when you entered the workforce, you got a number. Well, here we are today in the modern world, and Social Security numbers are now issued mandatorily to every baby that's born in the United States. So it went from being a
And even this bill being proposed to ban microCEOs from employment, it's weak in a sense, because if society and everything outside of your employment, your job, your workplace is having requirements, all right, you know for this technology to have a micro chip inside of you to make transactions, to pay bills, to to get certain credentials, etc. you know Off the strength of that, people are going to receive these devices that work in these jobs. Okay, so you banning it from the workplace is futile, because circling around the whole workplace concerning society, concerning life, your daily walk, you going from the store to the gas station to state to state, all right, paying for things online. The requirements to do those things and the transactions involved in that are going to require this device. So trying to ban it from the workplace, okay, really would make no sense at all. This should have been a bill to ban it, completely from the United States of America. That would make more sense, which we know that would go nowhere either. That would make more sense than this employment ban of micro CHIPs. Okay, because really these jobs, these workplaces are conform to society, right? What goes on in society, the requirements in society, ultimately filter into workplace environment. Okay,
A number for workers and for a social insurance program like Social Security to now it's our national identification number that applies to everybody. So I'm just explaining that that's the way these things grow, and we
yeah, and
need.
furthermore, these people are no longer needed for employment, for these jobs, for these warehouses. You're no longer needed at your local McDonald's, your Walmart. They have robotics and high level technology that is coming in and replacing you right before your eyes. You're no longer needed to drive the 18-wheeler truck, the Amazon delivery truck. All right. You're no longer needed to do these jobs that you went to school, you went to trade school, you went to college, you got a high level degree. You're being replaced by robotics. Okay.
To watch out. I'm not necessarily saying that the Social Security numbers are bad. It's just that
Which I believe is going to come to a point where, you know, we're going to see a social credit score, which, like you see over there in China, you know, and I believe a universal basic income could be attached to it as well, where you just, Esau just says, hey, y'all stay at home, sit at home. We don't need you to go to these jobs no more. All right. You ain't got to go to work. All right. At least the majority of the individuals over here in Babylon the Great. And, as long as you have that micro C hip and you're complying and abiding about what we tell you to do, you'll receive a certain amount of income each month, which will be automatically, what you owe to us will be automatically deducted from that as well. You very well could see that. All right. Circling around the M.O.T.B, you can see a universal basic income and a social credit score that is ultimately, you know, uh, set up to be governed by artificial intelligence, you know, which these wicked elite Edomite banking families oversee, right? And we're right there at the doorstep. It's just going to take the right catastrophe, the right false flag, the right event to happen for them to, you know, push it in a manner where the masses are quick to receive it. This is Revelation chapter 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And we are vastly approaching the hour of temptation. It says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So we're going to be tried as well. We're going to be proposed, in a sense, that device, right? Some of our family members, ones close to us, some of our friends are going to receive these devices and they're going to try to persuade us to do the same. Let's go to Revelation 14. And if Yahweh Shem Yahushua wants you to take the M.O.T.B, guess what? You're going to take it. All right. We hope and pray we're part of that elect number, part of the number that refuses to receive this device. And let's get the judgment for receiving these devices. This is Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, so whether you take it on your right, your left hand, your arm, or you get it robotically, surgically inserted into your head, your brain, concerning a BCI, a Neuralink, etc. All right, whatever manner you take it, It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So there you have it. That's the judgment. And we're right there at we're right there at the doorstep of this being rolled out. You know, we're seeing the wars and rumors of wars, the escalation between the nations. Okay, but the end is not yet, because the M.O.T.B has to be in play. All right, the M.O.T.B has to be in play. All right, before all out war. All right, before the ultimate height of World War III, where these nukes are being shot off in the millions over here to Babylon the Great. Lord willing, this was edifying. I'll put the link in the description box to the elders video. Watch, subscribe, and be edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the head apostle, Net is a great millstone. Rule well and teach well. To the next time, Shalom.